Hi, welcome to Still Life Yoga. Today's practice will need one yoga block, so you might want to grab that now, and then we'll go ahead and get started in Down Dog. So dig in with the hands, nice straight back, hips are high, long neck. Don't worry about straightening the legs. People seem to become obsessed with straight legs in Down Dog. It's really not required. Straight back, long neck, that's really what you're looking for here, especially if you have tight hamstrings. Straight legs may never come. So a couple of breaths here. Nice and big. And then when you're ready with an inhale, we'll lift that right leg high. And with an exhale, step in between your hands, find a low lunge. We'll hang out here a little bit. Enjoy the stretch. Just a couple of breaths. And then when you're ready with a big inhale, we'll come up to a high lunge. Keep the shoulders soft. If you have any pinch in the low back, bend that back knee. Stack the shoulders right over the hips. Take some of that arch out of the low back. Imagine you're holding something heavy over your head. Now we'll clasp the fingers together and we'll bend the elbows and let the hands just hit you in the back of the head, in between the shoulder blades, back of the neck, whatever it might be, and a couple of breaths here. So keeping the upper body pretty soft, the low body's really engaged. One more big breath. Beautiful. Let's bring the hands back around, and we're going to drop that back heel down. So try to square it up. Nice straight line between that front heel and the back heel, and we'll find a Warrior Two. So with Warrior Two, it's really important to have your hips level. So we tend to have that back hip much higher than the front. So we want to have them level, horizontal. So make sure the hips are level, and then we'll bend back into that front knee. Add the arms back in, reaching from fingertip to fingertip. Nice long neck here. A couple of big breaths. One more inhale. And then we'll go ahead and reverse this. So we're staying bent into that front knee, reaching high with the right hand. That back shoulder stays nice and soft. Engaged through the core. So from the pubic bone all the way up to the navel, stay really engaged in that area. Couple of big breaths. Beautiful. Let's come on down. We're coming back into a low lunge. So the left toes are back on the mat, lifting the heel. Then we'll drop the left hand, right arm's coming up. We're going to find a big twist here. Trying to stack the shoulders together. So maybe put a block under that supported hand. Beautiful. Let's come on down. And let's just step on back to Down Dog. Again, keeping the hips nice and high. Big inhale, left leg's coming high. Stepping through, find that low lunge. Couple of breaths here. Again, join that stretch. And when you're ready, we're going to come on up to that high lunge. Bringing the arms up. Again, bend that back knee if there's any pinch in the low back. Stack the shoulders right over top of the hips. We're going to clasp the fingers together, bend the elbows. Again, let the thumbs hit you in the back of the head, the back of the neck, in between the shoulders, wherever it might be. A couple of breaths here. Keeping the top of the body soft, really digging in with that low body. A million little corrective moves going on here with the muscles. Beautiful. The hands come back around. We drop that back heel, and we find our Warrior Two. Again, keeping the hips level. Nice and horizontal, both hip bones. Then we'll dip into that left knee, bend it, reaching strong, fingertip to fingertip. Couple of big breaths here. And when you're ready, we'll go ahead and reverse that warrior. So the left arm comes up high, reaching high. Keep that right shoulder soft. Stay bent into the front knee. Dig in with the inner thighs. So really engage through the inner thighs. Just a couple of breaths here. And then we're going to come back down to the low lunge. That means we're coming back up onto the right toes, lifting the heel. We'll plant the right hand. Left arm's coming up, reaching tall, tons of energy. So those left fingertips reaching tall, and there's a lot of energy from fingertip to fingertip right across the chest here. One more big breath. Let's come on down. And we'll step back to that down dog. Beautiful. From here, we're coming into a plank. We're going to hold it here for a couple of breaths. Dig in. Really push yourself away from the ground. Don't just hold yourself off the floor. And now slowly start to bend the elbows and lower yourself all the way down to the mat. Keep the elbows nice and tight to the body. Don't let them flare out. Beautiful. From here, we're going to drop the chin to the floor. We're going to flatten our feet out, and we're going to bring our hands to our sides. So the palms are down, the hands are actually off the mat. So then we'll lift the feet up, keeping the chin down, breathing the entire time. Nice big breaths. Lifting the feet up. One more big inhale here. And then we can go ahead and drop the feet back down. And you can shimmy the hips side to side if you like. And then we're going to come on up with the chest and the head. Really draw the shoulders back. Imagine someone has their foot in the middle of your back and they're pulling your shoulders back. Keep the neck neutral. Don't need to crank the neck out of position. Beautiful. Let's drop back down to the mat. You can shimmy the hips. You can windshield wiper the feet. Release any tension that might be in the low back from this back bend. Beautiful. So we're coming back down. So chin's down, hands are flat, palms down off the mat, wider than the mat. Feet are coming up, chest is coming up. And bring the hands up too. So if you're seeing wingsuit divers, the guys that jump off mountains wearing these wingsuits, that's basically what you're going for here with your body. Your chest is high, your arms are out, they're strong, tons of energy in the hands, the feet are up, lifted, the neck is nice and neutral, and you're just gliding down that mountain. Beautiful. Let's drop it back down. And again, you can shimmy the hips or you can windshield wiper the feet to release any tension in the low back. And let's tuck into a child's pose here. This is a nice counter pose for all that back bending. And there's a couple variations on child's pose. You can have the arms outright or tuck them beside you. So here's where the block comes in. So we're going to set the block down. I like to start it on the high setting. If you're really good at squatting real low, then you can do this with a lower setting on the block. So we're sitting on the block. We're going to square our feet up. We're going to put the weight in the ankles, sitting up nice and tall. And then with an inhale, we're just going to come to standing. And with an exhale, we're coming back down to the block. Let's keep this going. Big inhale, standing up strong. Exhale, coming back. Keep it controlled. Keep the movement slow, not trying to rush through this. Taking our time building those small stabilizer muscles. Again, keeping the weight in the heels so the toes are really light this entire time. And this is just body weight, so we're not lifting tons of heavy weight. So chances are you're not going to injure yourself doing something like this. Beautiful. Exhale, coming down. Inhale, stand it up. Exhale, down. Coming up. Last time, big inhale. Exhale, we sit back down on the block. Nice. So from here, let's come back down to the mat. We're going to find that down dog again. And then we're going to take the right leg high. We're going to find pigeon. So we're going to bring the knee up to the right wrist. The ankle comes up to the left wrist. We want to square the hips up to the floor here. So we don't want the weight leaning to one side or the other. We want to make sure we have a nice long spine. So we take a big inhale here. And then with an exhale, we'll come on down to the floor. We can stay up on the hands. We can come to the elbows. We can use a block underneath the elbows. And you want to keep the back nice and long. See, sometimes we have a tendency to hunch through the middle back here to take some of the stretch out of the hips. But the goal is not to get your face down on the mat. The goal is to stretch out the hips, the groins, the glutes. So go ahead and flatten the back and really appreciate that stretch. Then we'll just take a couple of breaths here. Nice big breaths. Beautiful. Bring your hands underneath you and we'll push up strongly. And let's tuck those left toes under and we'll dig in with the hands and we can find a three-legged dog or we can find a down dog to walk out, whatever you prefer. Then with an inhale, left leg's coming high. And with an exhale, we'll find pigeon on this side. So again, trying to square the leg up. Nice long spine. You'll probably find this side feels a lot different than the other side. We all have a dominant side, so the stretch doesn't feel even. Again, nice long spine. Avoid that middle back hunch. And you don't have to drop your face to the mat. You can stay up on your hands. You can come to the forearms, use the block, whatever. The goal is to get that stretch in the groin, in the glutes, in the hips. Couple of big breaths. Really fill your body up as you inhale. Let it all go as you exhale. This is really a tough pose if you have any sort of tightness in this area. A lot of people do. A lot of men especially have issues with this. So really just try to relax here. Beautiful. Let's come on up. Find that length in the spine. Tuck the toes. Dig the hands in. And again, we can find a three-legged dog or we can find a down dog. And we can walk that out. And from here, let's find another child's pose. So there are a lot of variations to child's pose. I like to have the big toes touching and take the knees about as wide as the mat. Gives your torso a little place to go. You can have the arms extended long overhead. You can tuck them to your side, or you can bring the arms all the way back around and tuck them around by your feet. So find whatever works. Move around a little bit. Explore this. The different variations feel good depending on which poses you've just come from. So it's kind of nice to play with a little bit. Just a couple more breaths here. And then we're going to come up and we're going to grab that block again. So staying on the knees, we're going to just sit back on the block. So this is what's called a hero pose. So if you have tight quads, this can be very challenging. So, mess with the block. Sit on it real high if your quads are real tight. Bring it down a little lower, whatever. Don't use a block at all. It really depends on your body. But again, just relax. Sit up tall. Enjoy the stretch. And that's where we'll end it here today. So thanks for joining me. I hope you found this useful. Please comment, share, and let me know what you think. Appreciate it. Thanks.